Parenting. This is the show where we talk about the good, the bad, and the beautiful side of parenting. We're trying to help the future generation to be as better as they possibly can without us interfering. Today, I've got a very special guest. I'm actually genuinely super excited about the show. Not saying I've not been excited about the others, but this one, I think your story is amazing. Amazing. Dancer?
Yes. Should I say yes?
You
Ex-pro
cannot
dancer.
say no. You could definitely not say no. Dancer, singer, but not in public.
Shower.
There you go.
Big.
Traveler.
Yeah.
Chameleon lover.
You got to explain that. That sounds wild.
No, you was in Thailand.
Yes.
You appreciate the chameleons, and we saw one outside the studio.
Yeah, that was so
and
random.
you was more brave than me.
Yeah, I touched it.
I was actually.
He was like, "Oh, I'm scared." I'm like, "What are you scared of?"
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to welcome Miss Sherine.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good, thank you.
Thank you for coming on. So I got introduced to you by a friend of mine through Instagram. Mm-hmm. She said, this woman, you would love her story. If possible, bring her on the show. And I looked at your page. I'm like, okay, I'm seeing she's dancing. What am I meant to do?
Right.
And she goes, no. There's her blog. And she sent me the link to your blog. And I read that blog. Wow. What a blog. Let's start from there before we're going to go back.
Okay.
What made you journal it down so openly and share it to the world? Because I believe one of the hardest things we can do as humans is take accountability and look deep within ourselves in order to move on. Some of us don't do that. That's why we don't move on for a long time. But you left yourself so vulnerable and just said, this is my truth.
Yeah.
Why? We thank you for that.
Yeah.
Why?
I think it is, as you said, once you take accountability, it's out there and you can't hide from it. I think I spent so many years hiding from who I actually was, hiding, what my life actually was like, what I was actually feeling, masking it and just kind of trudging along. Do you know what I mean? So I think when I came to this place, when my marriage broke down and I was, at ground zero, basically, I thought, Sherine, what are you holding on to? Do you know what I mean? What actually, and the fact of the matter is no one actually cares. No one is as bothered as we make them out to be in our minds. So I just thought, I need to let go of so many things. And I've always loved writing. I love reading as well. And there is a therapy in it. I feel that there definitely is when you write it down and then you read it back. Because for me, that was really helpful to read back and think, oh my gosh, okay, this is where I am. Okay, I don't want to stay here, kind of thing. It was for me. And then obviously it came to be for others because when I felt it was the right time, I put it out on my blog. And it was just journaling, how I felt when my marriage crashed and I realized that I'm not living as who I'm meant to be. Do you know what I mean? Like I was in a deeply, deeply depressed state.
Wow. Did that help?
Look, putting it out?
Yeah.
If I'm honest, I think by the time I put it out, I had done a lot of work already. So that was it was a natural step and it didn't, it wasn't painful. I wasn't really nervous because I feel like I'd already been honest in so many other ways to people that were close to me. And then also by starting the page as well. And I think probably with the page, like you said, I wanted people to know that there was a depth to who I am and what I was doing. It's not just me kind of prancing about saying I love dance, which I do.
You more than love dance.
I do. But that's my, that's my place of therapy. That's my kind of release. That's my place of just really being unapologetically me. Do you know what I mean? And that came from that place of pain. Do you know what I mean? So I think I definitely wanted people to kind of see and know and understand that about me.
Once you put it out, did you have any moments of regret? Did you delete it right again, upload, or you just said, I'm ready?
I didn't. Let's be very transparent. I did let my ex read it and say, this is what I'm putting out on my blog this week. Because obviously I was talking quite openly and honestly about our relationship, and I just felt that was the right thing to do.
But even with that, there was not even, I didn't read one inch of negativity or blame on him.
No, because it's about me.
But would you agree that if a lot of women did that, it would be a lot, and men, it would be, she did this, I did this because he did this.
Right. Which is the default, and we all do it. That's the easier and more. Well, we assume it's more painless to do that.
And that's what I want to explore. That's what I want to explore today, in hope that other people, once they're in a breakup, they can look within themselves and be free. Either be dancing, singing, walking, climbing trees, whatever they're doing. There's tree huggers there.
There
I
is,
hug trees. Yeah, this is therapeutic. It's therapeutic. It really is. So once you do that and you're free, as I was saying, then you're not using the kids as batting weapons, and therefore the kids will be a happy place.
Yeah.
Let's take us back to your relationship. How long was you married at the time?
13 years.
13 years?
Yeah.
So how long did you know each other?
We had known each other for like 3 years prior.
Okay.
So it was, like we were really good friends, then got engaged and then got married. Yeah.
Started off happy?
Do you know what? Like I said, I don't want to talk about him too much, but I would say we were really, really good friends.
Okay. That's
how it started, and it was kind of assumed that we would be great as a married couple. We weren't. We were much better friends.
Okay. And the first child?
Yeah.
Was that planned?
Yeah. Listen. I knew I wanted 4 kids from the jump. I knew all of their names. I was on this thing. I was like, I'm gonna smash this marriage life.
And he was in agreement.
Yeah, we kind of just thought, this is what we're gonna do, and and I just think, with each child, I was just like, this is not working. I don't feel how I think I'm supposed to feel, kind of thing. I'm not happy. I'm getting fatter. I'm getting more miserable. I have all these expectations and they're not being met. Like, what the heck, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And that's what dragged me down. That's what brought me to a place of not even really recognizing myself. Yeah.
Did you put too much pressure on yourself, do you think? And on top of the marriage, do you think he wasn't playing his part? I only asked this in order for co-parenting, because it's assumed amongst a lot of men that once baby's here, the woman is to do most of the work. Yeah,
no, I can't even say that, Francis. Do you know what I mean? I can't even say that it was... Obviously, in a relationship, you have... expectations, like I might want him to be more affectionate, or I might want, but in terms of support, he was, 100% supportive. Like our parenting was always very balanced. So I never felt like I'm doing too much. Although I did think I was doing too I said it and I heard it come out of my mouth, and I was like, no, Sherine.
I was going to say,
as a woman. It sounds
like you was doing because you said you knew what the names were, you knew everything.
No, but I mean in terms of like running, like just lifing. I think as women, we kind of tend to sometimes be martyrs and think, oh, I'll just do it. And then we end up doing everything and wondering why am I doing everything? And it's like, well, because you said that, and it was definitely a bit of that. It was definitely, I was just trying to do it all and not doing it very well. Do you know what I mean? And then resentful because I felt like I wasn't getting the help. It's a typical story.
I think resentment breeds, I would say, 90% of the breakups.
100%.
Because they start off so small.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Then they grow.
Yeah.
Then you just look at your partner from a distance.
And you feel it. Like, I'm sure, or I know he felt it from me. And I obviously would feel it as well. It's like we never have blazing rows, nothing like that. But like you said, it's that small seed of like resentment that just builds and builds, and till you're just like, I'm not happy. I'm just not happy.
What's interesting about your story is he came up to you, he voiced his opinions, and you almost shrugged them aside without meaning to.
Yeah.
That's a problem that most relationships face.
Yeah. We don't listen to
one
each
partner
other.
comes and sits down. Look, babe, this is my truth.
Yeah.
But I just told you my truth.
Not
you want
interested.
me to tell you my truth?
Yeah.
I told you my truth. You've not even came up with one solution.
No.
You're giving me reasons or excuses.
Why you don't feel like that.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's, and I laugh because it's the sad truth, so I can't, what am I going to do? Cry about it? But it is, that is the truth of it. We don't listen to each other. And I can only speak as a woman. Like, we will hear something that a man says and think, he doesn't mean that, he's saying that because and we're like, no, he didn't say that, this is what he said. I could, as people, surely we should only be able to take what is coming out of your mouth. If it's something different, let that be seen, let that be shown, through whatever, it will come to light. But let's work with what's being said right now. And I didn't do that. At
Why?
all. Because I was in a fog. I was clouded by my own feelings and my own hurts and my own, like I say, resentment, that I just thought, well, I don't know what you're talking about, but this is what we're doing, so let's just get on with it.
And that's a common problem. I think some men do it, but I think more women have that problem than men. And
what do you mean? Like they're not listening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where a lot of men say, you know what?
Yeah, they check out.
What can I say? Because if I say to resolve a problem, we're going to get more problems. You're not going to listen to me.
Yeah.
Then we're not going to speak for 4 days.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Let me just sit down and hopefully you will come to terms and see what's going on, but you don't see it.
Yeah. And I really didn't, I was blinkered. I literally was blinkered. I just thought, I don't know how, but I thought, this is our life and this is how we're going to do. Surely, other people are in worse off situations. And it's like, but you can't be concerned about what other people are doing. If you are unhappy, that's no way to live. Life is to be lived. Do you know what I mean? I say all of this now, and it's because coming from this place, as I said, I have worked through a lot of stuff, and I'm trying not to sound flippant when I say something like that. Life is to be lived, but
which it is.
Yeah, but really, like, if you're not happy, you've got to work through that. Do you know what I mean? Because otherwise, nothing will change. But I was of that mindset that no, we can live like this. we can just keep going, kind of thing.
What if you was to relive back that moment where he would come to you? Actually, let's flip that question. What advice would you give to people in relationships right now where their partners are coming over to them and say, "Babe, darling, honey, whatever.
Yeah.
This is what's not working." What would you say to them?
I would say, don't take it personal, because
I mean, it is pretty personal.
It's personal, but I mean,
babe,
don't take it.
are we not having sex?
Yeah.
I want some sex. Or babe, where's
but I would say don't take it as an attack. Don't take it as an attack. Obviously, the reason why that person is coming to you is because they're trying to mend something.
Yes.
For you to feel, for you to almost react with almost attack back. Nothing's getting rebuilt. Nothing's getting mended. There's no progression. So if you can, and it's very hard because feelings. Do you know what I mean? Like you're invested. Like
how can we? Because you've been there.
Yeah.
You know the damage.
Yeah.
If you would have just sat back and not seen it as an attack, so
Yeah.
how can the next person channel you? What can they do?
I think just take a minute, maybe and I'm learning this now, even now, not necessarily in a romantic relationship, but in any relationship, when somebody brings you some information that is not maybe what you wanted to hear, sometimes you might just need to say, okay, I've heard you, like give me a minute, give me, and a minute might be a day, it might be half a day, it might be, and then we definitely gonna sit and we're going to revisit this and we're going to work it through, but I just need to deal with what you've just said. But oftentimes we react, and then that's when do you know what I mean?
Let's flip it. What would you say to those people who are going to their partner and trying to convey with a partner?
I would say keep trying. I would say, you know your partner, so maybe you need to sit and really think, how can I best bring this to them? But at the end of the day, if you really want to resolve and to mend and to just be open, you're doing the right thing. I think sometimes, like you said, men, they get put off because it's like, oh well, I've tried, I spoke to her and she's either brushing me off or she's telling me about all the things that I've done wrong, and then they just stop trying, and then that's when the disconnect comes, and then before you know it, do you know what I mean? Like, so I would say, if it means something to you and you want to move forward with it, or you just want to resolve it in whatever way that might be, keep trying. Do you know what I mean? Keep talking.
We'll repeat. Men do it too, so it's not just women.
Yeah.
I don't want people saying, "Oh no, it's not."
But I'm going to talk as a woman from my perspective.
So fourth child is here.
Mm-hmm.
How long after the breakup?
She was 2, I think.
Then the breakup.
Yeah.
How you described the moment he told you in your blog was fascinating. Walk us through that.
Oh gosh. So I think it was during lockdown. It might have been during lockdown, but so maybe I was listening a little bit more than I would have done. But it was just a kind of, this is not working. And maybe it was something in his voice. Maybe it was, like I say, the times that we were in, where I was just maybe a tiny bit more attentive than I would have normally been. But I heard that he was done. I could hear it in his voice. And I just thought, I could feel my inside scrambling, like, hang on, trying to and I'm thinking, yeah, Sherine, like, it's done, mate. It's done. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't know what to do with that, because that was, this was the only life that I'd ever kind of envisioned, even though it was a pretty miserable one for me at that point. But I thought, well, this is marriage, this is kids, this is life, this is how everyone's living. But yeah, he was done.
How did you feel in terms of the hurt, the pain, the disappointment? Because at this stage, you still haven't taken accountability.
No.
That's what.
Yeah.
And then how did you? What was then like with the kids?
At that point, it was more just, okay, this is really painful, but maybe I still had a glimmer. That surely it will work out. Surely we'll be able to just, figure this out, kind of thing. But then a few days later, I found out that he had moved on, and
that's when that's when the hurt even kicked in.
Yeah, definitely. That's when the anger came. Before then, I was hurt, and I was like, oh my gosh, but then that's when I was like,
really?
Yeah.
which is also interesting, because you then go on to said, he spoke to me, he told me, I wasn't listening. What do I expect him to do?
Yeah.
And I think that's just so powerful, because for me, when I was reading that, I'm like, how did this woman get to this place to accept everything and still be moving on happily?
Because I just thought, what else am I going to do? Am I going to become like those women that I scroll and read about every day on my Instagram feed? Do you know what I mean? That just do mad things, and react in a way that is just so, damaging to everyone around them. And they're going to look back on that and think, and I just thought, I've wasted too much time. It's done. It is what it is. And if I'm honest, and I think I did say this in the blog, we had fallen out of love a long time ago. And I think that does play a big part. So let's not, I'm not in any way some kind of superhero, with regards to my heart. I think had I still been deeply in love, oh my gosh, it might have been a whole different story. I might have been, we might be having a different conversation. But where that side of things, I was like, you know what, if you go and be happy, do you know what I mean? And I think everyone deserves to feel and be in love at some point. So I was able to let go probably easier than had I still been like madly in love, kind of thing.
Take us through the anger you felt when you found out that because it wasn't long after.
No. Well, I just did the typical grab the kids. I was like, right, we're going, stuffed everything and anything into bags and took them to my mum's. And there we sat.
How difficult did you make it for him to see the kids after that?
I didn't. I mean, they spoke to him every day, and even at that point,
because you did say he's a good father.
Yeah, even at that point, I knew that this is temporary. I knew, let me just act out how I want to act out. Let me just do what I've seen other women do. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm meant to do, grab the kids and go. And I did feel like that. I'm not diminishing. I was angry and I didn't want to be anywhere near him, and I wanted to just get my kids and go. So that's what we did. But even at that point, I knew that, that was never a question. That was because that's their kids and their dad has got nothing to do with me.
Say that again, please.
I will say it again. The kids and their dad, that's their own relationship. That's got nothing to do with me.
Yes.
I was never ever gonna infringe on that, or, because then I've got to answer to my kids.
Yes.
I've got to answer to my kids, and
this is why I wanted you on this show.
Yeah, it's a painful enough situation, and I was very open with my kids from the beginning. They knew everything that was going on every step of the way, obviously in an age appropriate way, but they knew that, okay, we've fallen out. We're going to go to Grand's house for a couple of weeks because Mummy's very cross with Dad, and we'll just stay there for a bit. But they spoke to him. If they wanted to go and see him, they could go and see him. And then I said, and then after that, we'll figure it out. Which, yeah.
So even in your angry state, you still didn't make it so difficult for him to see the kids,
No.
which is important. The kids were involved every step of the way.
Yeah.
You said something very interesting. You said you acted what most women would do. I've never heard it before. So I want to ask, do you think that's a thing? Do you think a lot of women act like that because it is like the norm?
Yeah, but I think that our feelings are, everyone kind of feels, we all know how it feels to be hurt. We all know how it feels to be angry. And we all know that when we feel like that, we often want to make the other person feel hurt. Do you know what I mean? We want to let them know how angry we are. How can I, do you know what I mean? How can I show them? And if you believe that the thing that will hurt them the most is taking their kids away from them, then that's just what you're going to do. That's going to be your reaction. So that was my reaction. But I honestly, and I'm really trying to think and make sure that I'm speaking from a truthful place, but I don't think me taking them was to hurt them. It was simply they're coming with mum. But whereas I think some people may really premeditate and really think, I'm going to take them to hurt you, and
which I believe a lot of women,
I think
and
there's
some men do.
There's a difference. Once that mist calms down, are you really still that hurt and that upset that it has to be a continuous thing?
And you're hurting the kids that you love.
Yeah, and it's always comes back to them. It always comes back to them. Like I knew from the beginning. Like I said, as much as I was angry, as much as I was hurt, I knew that my kids deserve to have like something like this solid stability that they've always had. Yes. So we need to work this out somehow, not in a romantic way, but in a almost like a business. Do you know what I mean? Almost like it is. It's almost like a business. Like we need to make this work so that our kids are still feel connected to both of us in some kind of family sense. It may look a little bit different to what their friends' families look like, but they feel no less loved, no less supported, no less, so yeah, I just knew that I can't carry this anger towards you because we're going to need to be in close proximity to make sure these kids get the best.
How did you then get to the place where, or should I say, what should I ask? What did you put in place to make co-parenting work as a business, as you call it?
Yeah. Don't label me that. I think that in the beginning, obviously it was a lot of talking, like trust obviously was gone, was shot. So we had to rebuild.
Why was trust gone?
Well, because of the way in which the relationship ended.
Okay. I'm explain how then the trust was gone with the kids.
Oh no! I'm talking between us as parents.
Yes, but even then, the trust shouldn't be gone because. Do you think the trust was gone because he moved on soon after, or?
It was during.
Oh, during.
Yeah.
Okay. Because he wasn't in the same place.
Yeah.
He wasn't same frequency.
That's right. Yeah. So so just certain things had to be worked through, and so a lot of talking, a lot of communication, but with 4 kids, like it's a busy old house. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
There's always something going on. My kids do a lot, like their activities, and they're here, there, and everywhere. So again, in order for them to just continue with what they've always known, like we had to very quickly just get it together. Do you know what I mean? And carry on as we always had done. Obviously, albeit with a few changes, but it was quick. It was just, and it was never a question. It was just, right, he's got that on that day, he's got that, okay, you pick him up and I'll meet you there, and we just knew that, and I didn't want to do all of that with animosity.
Yes.
I didn't want to, because that's my life. Then I'm just miserable. I'm continuing to be miserable. I'm holding on to, I'm no longer in a relationship, but then I'm still miserable.
Which
No,
a lot
I'm
of
not
people
going
are
to.
walking around with
Yeah.
such misery from 2 months ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I
However
just
long.
said, nah, I've wasted enough time. Like, if we're going to do this, then this is what it is, and let's flow in it, and let's, make it a better atmosphere than it was. Like, the kids will feel like, oh, my parents are not together, but then let them see that actually, like, if the vibe is different, like, mum's energy is like up now. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's doing things, she's smiling, she's happy, she's actually better.
How old is your oldest?
He is soon to be 13, so he's 12 at the moment.
Second?
9.
Third?
8.
Wow. And your fourth?
She's 5.
So there's a big gap between the third and the fourth. So that's when things were at the highest intensity. But so the second and the third, things were good.
Second and the third, oh God, I think now. Yeah.
That's why there's like a year apart.
Look at me, I'm slow. I guess so.
Things were good.
I guess so.
Honey, I'm home.
You
yes,
know?
Things
Yeah.
were good.
Well.
No, so co-parenting now. Give us a brief rundown how it works for you guys.
Okay, so I'm just trying to think of our...
Because it's a word where we use it, but I think a lot of us still don't know what co-parenting is.
Yeah.
Hence why it's not working for a lot of people. So people be like, oh, what a silly question. How can you ask such thing? Co-parent is easy. It's easy if two people know what they're doing and they want to do it.
Yeah. You know what it is? I feel like even with the breakup, we've never seen each other as lesser parents. Does that make sense?
Beautiful, yes.
Like, I've never seen him as, an absent father or, a weekend dad or, and obviously if that's your situation, if that's just how it works out, then fair enough. But I'm saying that just because we broke up, he never for 1 minute missed a beat. He never became like, okay, well, now you tell me when I can see the kids. Nah, they're your kids. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's always been very present and still does everything that he did prior.
Does he come
kids.
around to yours, or are you that cool? Like, you lot would go on holidays together because the kids wants to do birthday together and
stuff?
Okay.
I mean, birthdays, it's we're prepare it, and the kids, we do it as a family. Do you know what I mean?
That's amazing. That's co-parenting.
Yeah, because those are the core memories.
And as I said, kids don't care.
Yeah, they don't. The fact they know that we're not together like that. There's not anything more that we could do to let them know. They know that. But in terms of us being there for school events or for football or for dance shows or whatever, we're always there. We're there. They know that unless for whatever reason one of us can't be, but it's not a question. Mum and dad will be there because we are mum and dad.
Yes, amazing. How important is it? So now we're gonna go full circle. You said you find yourself through dance. How important is it to find yourself after a breakup?
Oh gosh, well, if you don't, I don't know how you keep it moving. For me, I used to dance. Like, I was a professional dancer. Dance for many artists. And then I stopped. As I said, I've had 4 kids, put on weight with each one, lost confidence, like, was just, as I say, very miserable internally. So dancing was the last thing on my mind. I thought, who's got time to dance? And then, obviously once this situation came about, I ran to it. I was like, this is what makes me me. This is when I feel alive. This is when I feel happy. This is when I feel joy. This is when I feel sexy. This is This is it's been everything to me.
And your little mini-me can dance as well.
I know. No, it's definitely been passed down to my kids.
100%.
Yeah.
And you find yourself, are you happy?
I am. I'm very happy. Yeah.
Is
I feel
he happy?
good. You'd have to ask him.
If I was to ask him, are you a good person, what would he say?
Well, I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
By the sounds of things, you're doing an amazing job co-parenting. So unless if he says no, everything she said, which I know that's not the case, was like, but then we're not interested. We're only interested in progressing and helping.
Yeah.
Not another Jerry Springer.
Yeah. And I think that in answer to that question, obviously, like I said, I can't answer for him, but I know that it's important to progress, as you said. Like, if it's not progressive, if it's not, then why should we bother?
Yes.
Why should we bother? Let's do stuff that's gonna elevate us. Do you know what I mean? So I know that, I'm of that mind, and it helps when you have people around you that think the same.
What message would you have for those people who are yet to find their happiness within a relationship?
And they're still together?
They're still together.
I would say find something, one thing. It could be something small, something trivial, but something that makes you feel good. Apart from nothing to do with the kids, nothing to do with your partner, but you. It might even have to be that you think back to your childhood. What did I used to do that I felt like, what made me really excited and feel like I've achieved something? And start doing that, like once a week even. But everyone needs it. Everyone needs that outlet. I challenge you to tell me that you can go through this life without giving to yourself. Do you know what I mean?
And that's a lot of us don't.
Yeah.
We give externally.
Yeah.
We give energy to this person, this program, that Instagram post.
Yeah.
And we don't even know how long we've been unhappy.
But then you're not giving of your best.
Exactly.
You're just giving, okay, I can do that, or I can do that. And whereas if you're filling yourself up, do you know what I mean? We hear it all the time, but I've experienced it, so I'm telling you, like, what I'm able to give my kids now is so far superseding what I was giving them before. Whereas before I thought I'm being a really good mum, I'm being a really great mum, because I'm sacrificing and I'm, giving all my love, all my attention, all my energy into my kids, and nothing for me. So I'm a really good mum. When in actuality, this is who they needed.
Yes.
This is who
friends.
they needed. Yes, just
a happy mum.
That's it. Someone who's, I hold my hands up. My kids know, like, I'm flawed. I'm deeply flawed. They know, oh, mum, you're so impatient, or do you know what I mean? And I allow them to see that, because it's like, yes, I'm big 45, but I'm growing with you as well.
Which is a lie, by the way.
Listen, mate, I'm 45.
I'm going to take up dancing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
that's
what it is. Fountain of youth. But yeah, it's important.
What was your friends like during your hardest difficulty? Because I find a lot of friends give the wrong advice when people are going through hardship in relationship.
Yeah.
And also a lot of people go to the wrong friends for advice.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Because your story is unique in a sense. You turned around quickly.
Yeah.
You realised yourself.
Just because I just didn't want to waste any more time. I wanted to live. I didn't want to,
Did you have friends who gave you good advice? I mean, I'm not saying for any of your friends under the bus.
Yeah.
But, or were there friends, leave them, you don't need them, you can do it by yourself kind of thing? I
feel like everybody took my lead. So from during that time when I was, I was still in the marriage, I kind of didn't let anybody in. I very much just had the mask on and everything's fine, and don't come too close, don't ask any questions, everything's fine. you know. So I think people kind of just left me to it almost. And I'm not saying that to, you know, everyone's got their own lives, everyone's got stuff going on. Do you know what I mean? So if you're holding me here, I ain't got the energy to fight any closer, because, you know, everyone's got their own stuff going on. So I don't say that to put anyone down. But when the change came, and I found myself, and I quickly called up the friends that I had that I knew would just get it. Like, I wouldn't have to explain. We wouldn't have to have long drawn out conversations about, oh, well, you should do. No, these are big women that know that, okay, Sherine, if this is what you're on, we back you, we support you, let's do this. Do you know what I mean? And that's how it's been. Like, the friends that I have, they've only ever pushed me to be this Sherine, because they know this is the true Sherine. So let's keep rolling with this. Do you know what I mean?
That's amazing. Miss Sherine, is there anything I left out? Anything you want to give to the masses?
Just that, you know, I don't need to tell people how precious and how important our kids' childhood is. We know this, do you know what I mean? But what I would say is, like, just find a way to let them be kids. Do you know what I mean? Find a way that we can lessen, because every child is dealing with something. Every child is dealing with a situation that might not look like their friend's situation. It's a little bit different, and because of that, you know, they'll be affected. They will be affected. I'd be silly to sit here and say my kids have not been affected by any of it and they're absolutely fine. You know, they've gone through what they've gone through, but I've done what I can to lessen it. You know, I've made sure that, like I said, they always feel loved, they feel supported, and they see me happy, so they're happy.
Amazing. Where can they find you?
Well, I have my Instagram page, which is You Still Got It, which was obviously birthed out of my situation. It kind of speaks for itself. Within that, you can find a link to the website. The website is You Still Got It. And there are my online dance workouts, where I'm just, for me and for whoever logs in, to just lift your vibe, get that energy going, and just feel good. Do you know
And you're always smiling when you're dancing. Is that mandatory?
I am always, because I feel good. Listen, you dance and not smile. Unless you're in a rave, do you know what I mean? And you got
imagine in a rave, you see everyone just like a bit weird. Like, what's going on here? Everyone's smiling like
Listen,
that.
I unless you try it, don't knock it.
That's true. No,
but no, I feel good. I do feel really good, and I feel very grateful to have found this space within my life, and I'm not moving from it.
No, it's amazing. I hope what a lot of people can take from your story is taking accountability.
Yeah.
I mean, you took it straight on, and then you said something so powerful. Your relationship with your partner, your ex-partner in this instance, is nothing to do with the kids.
Yeah.
The kids have their relationship with you, and they also have a relationship with him. I think that's important, because too many of us are using kids just to get back. As you said, it's a natural instinct when I'm angry, but it's the kids, because the adults can walk away.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't let them see their kids for 1 week, 2 months, a month, they might cry at night. They might be upset. Obviously, super painful. But however painful you think you're causing that adult, that's probably 1,000,000 times worse for the child.
Yeah.
And the adult in 4 or 5 years' time would have moved on, found a new partner.
That's it.
Probably get more kids.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah.
There'll be just a little story. Oh, she was horrible, or he was horrible. But the kids
they've lost that time.
Yeah.
They've lost that time, and they now have to deal with that pain that they felt going through that.
Exactly.
And the disconnect as well from a parent, like.
It's crazy, and we use the word trauma so freely these days, and a lot of us can minimize. A lot of parents can minimize child trauma just by being a good parent. That's it.
That's it. Just think how it's going to affect them. Think, is this the best for them?
Yeah.
I know the best for them is to have their dad do everything that he's always done. That's the best. And it helps me. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be running around like a headless chicken when I've got somebody there that is happy, ready, willing to be what he has always been, which is their dad.
And you are a mother.
Yeah.
And let the dad be a father.
That's it.
And the father is the father. The father should let the mother be the mother.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes, on that note, miss, I appreciate you. I thank you. I think we're going to be seeing you at a dance lesson.
Yeah, listen, I'm waiting for you.
Thank you very much for coming
You're
on this.
welcome.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow.